Good day, madam!
Am I supposed to say yeehaw? Yeehaw! Good day, sir. Holy cow.
We're rocking that cowboy hat today, y'all. Miranda doesn't like my cowboy hat, but I personally don't care. I almost bought a black one, Miranda.
That might actually look better. Black might look better.
I mean, she's coming on board, y'all. She's coming on board. So, buddy, how are you?
Things are good. Rock and rolling, man. Total.
Your glasses, are a perfect, contrast to our logo. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I need those. So the day they came out, I ordered them.
The magnetic ones, or are these? They are.
They are. Yep.
Oh my goodness, I love them. I think I need a pair. I need a non-prescription pair.
They make them. They do.
My daughter wears them. They're called blue lenses. My daughter wears them.
Blockers? You probably need them. You're on the computer a lot, so.
I'm on a computer so much, Miranda. I'm gonna go like this. So, buddy.
Did you know that one of our last episodes, you were making faces? I think it was the one where we were with Ashley Richard, and you were making these weirdest faces. They can see you now on our new format.
I had to stop that because on Zoom you couldn't. It was only the person that was talking you could see when I was doing it to Miranda, and sometimes I do it just to mess with her a little bit, just to kind of get her off her game. And
it never works.
It doesn't.
By the way,
I know, so I don't know why I do it.
But it's if you guys want a good laugh, go back and watch the Ashley Richard episode. She did awesome, but John's face off to the side was ridiculous most of the time.
No. I wonder if we can fix that on here to where it's just like speaker mode.
No, we don't want to do that.
I think we do, so I can continue messing with you.
No.
And not look like a complete jackass.
People want to know how to not suck at sales, so.
That's right.
That's why they're here.
That's right.
So let's get into it.
All right, so Miranda, you could probably set this up a little bit better than I can. But I'll tell you what, man, I have heard some doozies over the years. I mean, some absolute doozies. I think that a lot of agents are just socially inept. Maybe. Or maybe it's just that weirdness. You know how we talk about that? It's don't be weird.
Yeah.
Because you are the stimulus that creates the response. Hey, do you have a dog? Miranda, do you have a cat? She's like, yeah, I got a cat and a dog. Dog's name is Teen. But, and hey, Miranda, look at it.
Ooh.
That is kind of cool. Don't you agree?
It is. Yes.
Got that over Father's Day. But anyway, yeah, buddy, I think that there's just quite a few agents that just say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Wouldn't you agree? And it's
yes.
I can't help but just get defensive. I did this, so I went to the Cody Askins thing, and I did this. It was really cool, Miranda. I called this guy up. This is kind of at the start of at the end of my little speech that I did for him. I called this guy up, and I'm like, hey, come here. And he's like, all right. And I called him jiu-jitsu because that's what they were talking about, MMA or whatever. So I said, come on up here. I said, you know how to count, right? And he goes, yeah. So let's count to 8. And so we did 8 paces. And I said, all right, stop. And then turn around. I said, let's count to 4. And then we did 4 paces. So I said, stop, turn around. So he turned around. So I immediately went in front of him. I said, put your hands up. And I put his hands up. And he started pushing against me with just a little bit of force. I didn't have to ask him to walk with me. All I did was say, hey, can you count to 8? He's like, yeah. I said, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we walked. And then I said, all right, 4 more. And then we were in the middle of the room. And the little bit of resistance that I gave him, he pushed back so much harder. Physically or emotionally, when we give our clients pushback, they're going to immediately react to us. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it kind of ties into what we're talking about here today, is that with your clients and just being awkward. And so we're going to kind of cover a lot of the parts, I think, of the presentation where we just see agents being awkward. I mean, is that kind of a right setup or not
This
necessarily?
is
Like I said, you
stuff
could do
that,
better
yeah, that we want to talk about stuff that you might be doing that we definitely don't recommend doing.
than
So
that.
you might not even realize you're doing some of this stuff, but we're gonna talk about it because this podcast is called Don't Suck at Sales, and the reason you might be sucking is because you might be doing some of these things,
That's
right?
right.
So,
That's
so I know
exactly.
that John. So okay, this is something that I see happen a lot, especially with the newer people when I'm role playing the script with them. Like we open up the script and these guys just start going into the darn script. Okay, this is number one. They don't even say who they are and what they're calling about. So they open up the call. They're like, "Hi." So, and they just start reading the script. Okay. So before we even get into anything else, you have to introduce yourself, guys. Like, "Hey, John, my name's Miranda Martin. We spoke like an hour ago about life insurance. Anything fun happened in the last hour since we talked last?"
Right. Right. Exactly. You need to you definitely need to intro yourself. Number one. Number two, are you giving a picture of your license, Miranda? Are
Mm-hmm.
you giving
Well,
a digital
I
business card every
I
single time?
really, as soon as the appointment, first of all, as soon as the appointment is scheduled, the digital business card needs to go out, right? With your information. And then if it's a one-step booking, when you transfer from the phone call to the client presentation where you're going right in, before you ever go into a client presentation, make sure they have your digital business card. Just
And
don't. If
and while you're in the appointment, I'm going to recommend that you send your license, a picture of your license too, in that particular state.
That's good. Mine is on my digital business card, but yes, I like that too.
Okay, so if it's
I
not on
like
your
it.
digital business card, go ahead and definitely send it. And even if it is, it's just probably the license number, I would assume, right?
No, I have like a picture of it.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
That's your badassery. But
it's there.
for those that don't, I would definitely send a picture of your license, like the picture of your copy of your license in that particular state that you're conducting business in, because you want to build and generate as much trust up front as you possibly can, right?
Yep.
You don't want anything in the back of their head saying like, is this real?
Yep.
Can they conduct business? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. And the same thing if you have a website, like shoot it off, man. Like again, anything that's gonna make them feel credible with you and be able to trust you. And then you have to tell them who you are, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So don't be a ghost, I guess. Right. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a ghost. I think even through, we talk about this too, right? It's like that's super important to do, but like not being weird, I think is really important too, Miranda.
Hmm.
So here's what I found, especially in this world that we're in today through phone calls. Rapport building is just not that important. The speed of the presentation, I believe, is so much more important. And I literally listened to three over this weekend of presentations. They spent like 8 minutes rapport building.
Mm.
Don't do that. It's legitimately two questions, right? Like I used to make jokes all the time where I hear people like, yeah, so do you have a dog? Do you have a bird? Like, what the hell are we doing? No. Keep it super simple to like what you're there for. Like, if I'm there for mortgage protection, I'm gonna be like, oh, hey, really quick, Miranda, how long have you been in the area? Oh, we've been here for 4 years. Oh, where did you move from? That's it. That's my rapport building. Right? It's two very quick questions. Leave it the hell alone, and then tell them who you are. Get into your presentation for sure. I absolutely love that, Mer. But again, don't be weird throughout that. And again, the rapport building, that's another area where it can get weird for you guys. And a lot of people don't understand this. If they ever ask you, Miranda, like, look at my phone. If they ever ask you, like, hey, how much longer is this going to take? Believe it or not, like what they're telling you is that they're pretty much done with this, but they want the price. And a lot of people can get in that position, Mer, if they're asking too many rapport building questions.
And this happens on the phone. A lot of times this issue, if they're talking too much and you're going into this, it can start on the phone. And here's something I'll tell you. Never let it get out of hand on the phone. Let them know that, listen, I could chat with you all day, John, but I got, whatever, 100 people to call this, whatever the number is. So we can always continue this later when I call you back with your options. Don't do it. It'll suck away your whole freaking week. And what happens is those people barely ever pick up for the appointment. And if they do, they're going to do the same darn thing again.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're too nice, these people don't show and then they don't buy. You gotta be like a lawyer, right? Like doctor's office, lawyer, have that posture.
Yeah. That's really, really, really sound advice. I can't tell you how many newer agents I hear like, oh yeah, man, he was a talker. It took me 45 minutes to set the appointment. What? What?
Yeah, I could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
You could do that in the client presentation too, John. You could be like, I could talk to you all day, but oh my gosh, I got, 5 more families after you, and just get back to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Solid, Mer.
So,
how about another
purpose? Role and purpose. Here's the thing that I hear not being done right a lot. People talking at them the whole time and not getting interaction. Okay? So in our new role and purpose that's coming out in the real system pretty soon, probably in the next week or two, John, there is more interaction in that role and purpose. But if you have a role and purpose without that, after every, let's say, paragraph, you want to make sense? Does that sound good? Feel me on that? Like, if you just talk at them, these people are probably watching Law and Order or on Facebook, or they're not listening to you, okay?
Yeah.
And both. Getting a yes from both people establishes control right out of the chute.
Yeah, and if you have to repeat yourself in the sales process, don't get frustrated. It's because you're doing what she just suggested, and now they're being forced to pay attention. Right? If I'm on the phone with somebody that, like, I know it's not an extremely important conversation, we're just kind of shooting the shit, I'm starting to kind of get rid of text messages. Right? I'm starting to catch up on text messages until that call turns very important. Then I'll be like, hey, can you ask me that again? So agents of mine that are listening, if I've done that to you, it's because I may check out for 30 seconds to clear up some of these text messages. But like, we do it to people that we care about too. So don't think that these people aren't doing it to you. So that's really good, Mer. So yeah, and you should be doing that all the way throughout your presentation anyway. It's an indication that you talk too much if you're constantly losing people. And it should really just be transitioning to a lot of them talking. But medications, don't we kind of see it there too? Or we'll like kind of assume that it's for something that it maybe not be. I've seen that too many times. Where what's the old saying there? It's like your ignorance on fire or something like that. It's, you know what I'm talking about?
No. But here's what happens. I've heard new guys go, so are you taking in medication? No. Oh, okay, good. Right? Or oh, you have cancer, or you have, oh my god, like, and like there's no, do not respond, like there's no ups and downs, like it's just okay, cool as a cucumber, guys. Like you can totally like make people feel really uncomfortable here. But I know you were gonna like talking about assuming things as well, like.
Yeah, it's the same idea. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's just be an order taker here. As you're going through the medications, it's like, oh yeah, I'm taking I don't know, pick one, Ozempic, right? Instead of like, oh, is it because of weight loss? Don't assume it's for anything. Like, no matter what it is, don't assume it. Just ask. And what are you taking that for? And what are you taking that for? And what are you taking that for? Too many times I've seen agents assume what it's being taken for. And then now you're believe it or not, you're planting a negative seed in that client's brain that says, no, why the hell would you assume that? I don't have that. Right? And because, I don't know, is what I'm saying kind of makes sense, Mar?
Yeah, no, it is. And then at this point, when you're doing the medical, just ask anything else. Anything else. Anything else? And you just sit there, anything else? And you keep doing that about both of them until they run out of stuff. Don't
Yeah.
assume that after they give you one or two things or they reconfirm what they told you on the phone that that's it, right? There's like 3, I think, attempts to get medical information throughout the script because they're not always going to be truthful the first time you ask them either.
Yeah.
So we want to
I-
scare the crap out of them that, hey, they're going to see it, from the day you were born until like, we'll be able to see it. You better tell me.
exactly. In the fact finding, I think there's 2 big ones. Number one, I think life insurance is a big one. So it's like, oh, hey, Miranda, do you have any life insurance? Yeah, I do. Okay. And how much coverage do you have? Oh, $250,000. Oh, okay. How much do you pay for that? Oh, I don't know. It's through work. So many times I hear people say, oh, oh. Do you know what happens if you quit or you get fired? Right? It's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Like, don't put people's backs up against the wall. If they're proud of it, be proud of it. They want to celebrate it with you, celebrate it. Like, who cares? Like, we're gonna get them more anyway. But don't ever make the client put their back against the wall, and that's an area where they do it too. How about like throughout the fact finding process is like when the clients don't want to give how much is in their bank account, that's when I
Yeah.
see pretty like it's like ding ding, hello.
So, okay, so this is on here, right? Like it's in a lot of the scripts where it's like, hey, do you have anything in your checkings or savings, like anything meaningful, or is it more of like a rolling average? If they don't want to give it to you, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
We're not going to respond with like, well, we need to know how much to make sure that have enough money to pay the life insurance fee. We don't want to do that. It's okay. You can't if you don't ask it. I was always trained that the dumbest question is the one you never ask. But it's cool, right? If they don't want to tell us something, that's cool.
So here's what I'll say. One, I'm going to say 2 things. Number one, it's definitely the way that you're asking it, right? It's like, hey, do you keep anything meaningful in your account, or is it more of a rolling average? If they don't want to tell you, they should be saying rolling average. Number one. Number 2, if they don't tell you, it's a pretty clear indication for me that's a temperature check. It's a clear indication for me that they don't trust me enough yet. And I'm always looking for those temperature checks, Miranda. Always. And that's one of them right there. And that's you're halfway through the presentation and they don't trust you enough yet. I mean, you got to hurry up and gain that trust. Another one, and I would say this is probably like kind of the final one, if you will, in the presentation, is how about the think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Miranda, you know what? I want to take a couple of days to think about. I've seen some stupid responses here. Hey, man, grab your wallet and grab your wife's hand and ask which one's more important. What?
Stop.
What? No. Seriously, don't like. Oh, what's there to think about, man?
Yeah, if you had some time, what would you think about there?
Yeah, right. It's like, what are you doing?
But hold on, here's another one. But what's holding you back?
Yeah,
That's another one that I've heard.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a guided path that we need there, right? It's like just be careful of just being stupid and putting your clients just their backs against the wall. Make the assumption.
Okay.
So in something like that, I would make the assumption for you and be like, hey, Miranda, really quick. I know based off everything we talked about, it sounds like it's something that you want to do. You're just not sure as to which route you kind of want to go with. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm going to think about it.
If they want to think about it, it's because the why's not big enough or the price is too high. That's it.
Yeah.
So if the why is 100%
or they don't like
good, or they don't like you, which okay, fine.
You can ask them.
Do you not like me? No, okay. Which I know you do that, John. I don't think I've ever done that. I have never done that. But anyways, okay. So if the why is big enough, then you just have to drop the price down, right?
Yeah.
And there's a script, and it's on Don't Suck at Sales, on the same one from the Symmetry script, is the Decide Tonight. You know, that if you say that script before, you might need to say it again, right? Just to kind of put the nail in the coffin, but it either goes back to you digging back into their why, or freaking going ahead and dropping that price down. But yeah, I know we're at 20 minutes already, John.
I know, I can't believe it. It's so crazy. I could keep going, Miranda. I just keep. Well, Miranda, if they don't want to suck at sales, what should they do?
Don't be weird, and like and subscribe and all that.
Miranda, let's give them a howdy and bye, y'all.
Howdy how. Bye,
Howdy and
y'all.
bye, y'all.